bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sing us the star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free. And the hope of the brave of the
WACS Channel 5 presents Peninsula AAA High School Football. The Bethel Bruins versus the Hampton Crabbers. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. We welcome you to Darling Stadium in Hampton for tonight's battle between the undefeated Hampton Crabbers and the undefeated Bethel Bruins, the battle for the Peninsula District. And Bob, this game has been long awaited by both sides. This game has been built up and written more about in the press than any game I've seen in a long time, and probably deserves every word that's been written.
Oh, there's no doubt about it, Tim. There's been an article in the paper about every day. You have a team in the Hampton caliber that has 14 straight district championships, either outright or have shared. Some of these young men playing on that team, Tim, were not even born when they started that string. Bethel, on the other hand, has just come out with a fantastic season. They were picked to end up about 4th in the district and end up 9-0. This just makes for a fantastic game tonight.
The Hampton Crabbers ranked number 1 in the state, 12th nationally by USA Today, and the Bethel Bruins ranked 6th in the state, and they have a 9-0 record, as do the Hampton Crabbers. The Bethel Bruins recording 5 shutouts. On paper, these two teams are very similar. When you talk about leading in statistics, the Hampton Crabbers are number 1 in points scored, and they're number 2 in points allowed. The Bethel Bruins are number 2 in points scored and number 1 in points allowed. There you see the coaching staff for the Bethel Bruins. Of course, 18-year head coach Dennis Kozlowski and the rest of his crew. As we have a full house on hand for this game tonight. Getting back to those statistics in just a moment, we do want to talk about the weather because, Bob, the weather could very well become a factor in tonight's ballgame.
Right. It's not real cold, except that the wind is very gusty and the wind chill is going to be down. It's going to make it a little harder to catch the ball with the wind coming across the field. It's going to affect the passing and the kicking game, Tim. For both teams can pass the ball well, but we're going to see how they make adjustments to this wind tonight.
There you see Old Glory whipping in the wind. That wind is going directly across the field. And I don't care, you said it's not cold. I got news for you. 8,300 fans here tonight will dispute that all the way down to their chilly bones.
Well, Kozlowski doesn't think it's cold.
No,
he's got shirt sleeves on. He says the adrenaline is going and the crazy Polak is ready for battle.
That's a quote, by the way.
Yes.
that was not an editorial. That was a quote. There you see the coaches, of course, missing from the top of that list. Of course, is head coach Mike Smith, who has been seemingly on top of the Hampton Crabbers coaching position for eons and eons. There you saw some of the names, and as I said, I'm not sure why we didn't see Mike Smith's name up there.
But of course, when we were looking.
Maybe they did. You know, we weren't looking all the time. But, of course, This game has all the hype that it should have. The game is sold out. The fans are filled as they should be for a game of this magnitude. There is a threat of rain. The temperature at game time, low 40s, the wind gusting up to 40 miles an hour, and it could become a factor as far as the game goes. Right now, we're going to go back in time. You had a chance a little earlier to talk to head coach Dennis Kozlowski of the Bethel Bruins.
Bob Hims with Coach Kozlowski here. Coach, a big game tonight.
Well, that's a little bit of an understatement. You know, everyone is big and one at a time, and this just happens to be the one that's next.
Well, you've had just an awesome season this year, 9-0. It's just got to make you feel good. The kids are doing what you want them to do.
Well, I'm very proud of my team, no matter what happens tonight. We've just been absolutely thrilled with the work that they've done all year long. They've been resilient and coming back from adversity with injuries and so on and so forth. People have stepped in to fill in for people who have gotten hurt, and you just can't say enough about them.
Well, that's good. Listen, Coach, what kind of this win now, it's kind of a crosswind. What effect is that going to have on your game plan?
Well, I don't think it's going to be that much of an impact on the game plan per se. However, obviously, I think it's going to be a factor because the chill factor is going to make it more difficult for the receivers to handle the ball. I think that and the fact that neither team has played in these conditions yet this year. Obviously, Hampton has had some experience playing last year in the playoffs with this kind of weather conditions. We have never had it, so it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge for us probably than for them.
Very good. Well, listen, we've been watching you all season. We think you've just done a fantastic job. Wish you good luck tonight, and hope to see you after the ball game.
Well, you know, tell him go easy on us. They're too tough.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right,
we'll talk to you. All right, let's go back up to Tim.
Of course, Dennis Kozlowski, Bob, did not get a chance to mention some very important missing players for tonight's game.
Number one, Kareem Woods will not be playing tonight.
Kareem Woods, who is a two-way player, so
right.
Let's not diminish the importance of that young man. Steve Rimpsey will not play as well, and Lamont Williams. So three key parts of the Bethel Bruin offense and defense will not be on the field this evening. There you see the Hampton Crabbers clad in their black, red, and white uniforms coming to the near side of the field. They are the home team for this game. And again, before we get too far into this, let's go right now back in time again and talk about discussions with coaches. Head coach Mike Smith of the Hampton Crabbers.
Coach Bob Hens here with Coach Mike Smith. Coach, congratulations on a fine season, 9-0. Your kids have really done a great job this year.
I think we've had a great year up until now. You know, the kids have, I think they've played extremely hard this year. They've worked hard. It's been a good year.
You've had some kids that stick their heads up and really come to the front.
Well, I think that each of them has done the best that they could do, you know, and if they play as hard as they can play, and we've had fun and enjoyed it. It's been a great year.
Well, that's good. Mike, with the weather tonight, with this wind, not so much the wind as the chill factor. It's going to be a little colder out here tonight.
Well, it's a little bit cooler, you know. Of course, that wind plays havoc with the ball throwing, so I don't think it's going to help either team throwing. I think it's going to take away from the deep pass, you know. I think going to have to try to run a controlled passing game and keep the ball in the 14, 15, yard range tonight.
Right. Well, you two teams are so similar in the statistics. You look at statistics, and you're so close. When you look at the films of Bethel, when you see the weaknesses, you make those adjustments in practice, and do you also make some during the game?
Well, you know, you always have to make them during the game. You have to be able to make those adjustments during the game. I'm sure both teams will tonight, because you're never sure exactly what you're going to see. I'm sure they've made adjustments for us coming into the game, and then they're going to have to make some counter adjustments once they get in. But they don't have too many weaknesses. They're a solid football team. I think Dennis has done a great job over there this year. You know, he's brought a team up I think it's probably I don't think anyone in the league thought they were going to be as strong as they were when the year started, but they've had an outstanding year. They're playing really good football right now.
Well, good. Well, listen, Mike, congratulations on a fine season, and good luck to you tonight.
Oh, thank you, Bob.
I hope to see you after the ball game.
I hope so.
Good enough. Well, let's go back up to Tim.
All right.
Here you see the officials for tonight's ball games. The referee is Bill Dozier, and he is heading a veteran crew for tonight's ball game, Bob.
He sure is. We got Turlington and Young and Bullock, and trying to remember who the other one is. And Hampton was going to receive, Tim.
While we were away watching that interview with Mike Smith, the Crabbers did win the toss. They will receive to start the ball game, and they'll be moving from our right to our left. The white-clad Bethel Bruins will be kicking off. And by the way, those of you who are not familiar with high school rules, there are 4 12-minute quarters in high school football, and there are no ties. This game will be played till a victor is determined.
That's true, and that's very important. These two teams, Tim, could very well end up as state champions, one of Division 5 and one of Division 6. Whoever wins this game could say, we are really the true champion of AAA.
In last year's Hampton-Bethel game, Bethel caught nothing but trouble. Hampton, on the other hand, caught everything round and brown. Shelly Ellison got things started with a nice first quarter score. Later on, Reggie Pittman intercepted a Bruin pass, which helped pave the way for Vic Williams to give Hampton its second score of the night. The second quarter, much like the first, proved to be less than hopeful for the Bruins. It did, however, give Fred Brown and Reggie Pittman a chance to show off a little bit and rack up a few more scores in the process. At the half, the score was 33-0. It was Hampton's game in the first half, and they saw no reason why it shouldn't be theirs in the second. With this in mind, they decided to run right over their opponents. They did this 3 times, which resulted in a final score of 53-0. Well, the Bruins, not one to cry over a beating, decided to toughen up, so much so that no one else has been able to beat them since that game. Both teams come back tonight with new strategies, new drive, and individual records of 9-0. At stake tonight is the coveted Peninsula District title, and more importantly, the reputation of these two teams. Let the games begin.
A momentary delay while the kicker gets a new tee, I believe, for the football. That is number 14, Dwayne Franks, who will kick off for the Bruins. Standing back at the goal line to receive for the Hampton Crabbers will be number 9, Sean Hamlet. Hamlet started the season for the Crabbers with a kickoff return of 94 yards against the Green Run Stallions. We are underway from Darling Stadium. It's a short kick taken at the 15-yard line by Sean Hamlet. Hamlet's trying to get outside and is finally dragged out. Fumble the football. Let's see if the ball was ruled dead. It will belong to the Crabbers because they had possession last.
That's right. What a big break for the Crabbers. I thought if the Bethel Bruins had just fallen on the ball, they would have had they would have been in possession. But since it went out of ball with nobody good, we see the offensive. We have Darriott at center, Newsom and Tynes at guards, Tucker and Vick are the tackles for the Crabbers. In the backfield and at the ends, we have Stein at one end and Hamlet at the other end. We see there. Spencer is at an end flanker, is Stein, I'm sorry. Fullback Shelton Snow, Shelly Ellenson, the tailback, and of course quarterback Fred Brown.
First play from scrimmage is a handoff left side to the 20-yard line. Goes the ball carrier, that is number 44, Shelly Ellison.
And then we see the Bethel Bruin defense.
All right, Epperly is the one guard, Parker the other. Hargraves and Gaskell are the tackles. The ends are Gunn and Manley. Our computer's a little slow tonight because of the cold. Sims, Johnson, Bean, Anderson, and Iverson round out the defense for the Bruins. Second down and about 8. Fred Brown back to pass. Throws long. It's intended for Hamlet, and it's almost intercepted, but unable to hold on to the football was Reggie Ponton, number 25. So the second break already in this ballgame for the Crabbers.
Sure was, because, hey, that looked like a true interception. Sean Hamlet became the defensive back in that situation. As you'll watch here on the replay, he caused that to be an incomplete interception.
Brown had a lot of time, and he just threw as long as he could. This ball was not a well-advised pass because there was no open receiver for the Crabbers. There you see Sean Hamlet, as you said very appropriately, became a defender on the play. And it brings up, after the incomplete pass, a third down and 8 just across the 20.
Well, you can see Mike Smith is not at all worried about the wind, Tim.
This is Brown. And Brown will be
Looks
close
like
to a
short.
first down.
He looks like he's going to be about a yard short, depending on the spot.
It would appear to be, no, it's not a yard short. If it's anything, it may be an inch short. It's on
He
the
got a
28.
good spot. Looks like a good spot.
But it will require a measurement, and they'll bring the chains across. 10:56 remaining in the first quarter.
Well, this is what you're going to see for both these quarterbacks. Iverson and Brown both are very good scramblers, very good runners.
Grabbers get the first down by an inch.
Wow, what? They were an inch, but the other way.
Here's your replay. Brown, looking downfield, had two wide receivers open at one point, but elected to run with the football. Just got away from Tim Johnson, and then was able to keep his balance and got out. Good spot right on the 28-yard line.
Good spot.
So the Crabbers now with a first down. Brown again on the draw play. Shelly Ellison. Good defense by the Bruins, as you might expect, coming up quickly. Number 36, Joseph Manley.
I'm sorry, that was Manley. I thought it was 39. Manley did a good job because Shelly Ellison is no small young man back there. He is a good-sized running back for the Crabbers, and he picked up actually lost about a yard.
Yeah, he did a good job getting back to the yard. Here's your replay. You'll see Ellison just at the very tail end of that play. Clock stops with 10:40 remaining on the out-of-bounds play. No score from Darling Stadium. This game videotaped on the 8th of November, 1991. Second down at about 11 for the Crabbers. The pitch goes to Ellison. Ellison trying to turn the corner. Manley again, this time pursuing from the left side. So Joseph Manley has been there 2 times in a row to prevent a gain, in fact, create a major loss.
But I tell you, the Bethel Bruin defense did exactly what they wanted to do. They stopped up the middle, forced the runner to go laterally, and as he went laterally, he did give ground and ended up losing about 10 yards.
Here's your replay. You'll see Ellison, as you said, going backwards, and Manley and Tim Johnson in pursuit. Manley is the one to get to him. And it brings up a third down and long, third down at about 18 for the Crabbers. Brown rolling, doesn't have time to pass. He'll hold on to the football, and he will create a fourth down situation for the Crabbers. The defense for the Bethel Bruins is number 2 in the district. Behind, yeah, you guessed it, the Hampton Crabbers is number 1. The Bruins allowed just 101 yards rushing per game and 67 yards in the passing department, but they created 28 turnovers. 31 turnovers, 28 of which were interceptions.
And Mr. Iverson had a bunch of those.
Bad snap, but Stein gets away the kick. It's a short kick, and it takes a Hampton bounce inside the 50 to about the Bruin 48. But they will have great field position. Stein got a 2-hopper and did a good job. Unfortunately for the Bruins, they did not have the rush on, or they might have been able to block that kick. But Stein got away a relatively poor kick. Stein averaging about 32 yards per kick this season.
Well, the reason there wasn't a block on Tim is that Bethel knew that they were going to end up with good field position.
Michael Jackson gets the handoff from Iverson. He's down to the Hampton 46-yard line. And we'll give you the starting offense and defensive units. Here you see the Bruins on offense. They have Smith at center. Coulter and Page are the guards. The tackles Dean and Hargrave. Gaskell and Walker are the ends. We'll get back to the rest of that in just a moment. Iverson fakes, rolls, looks downfield. He can run with the football. He is finally driven out of bounds, but not before picking up the first down. There you see the balance of the Bruins on offense. Marlon Anderson is the flanker. Matt Harris, the starting fullback. Michael Jackson at tailback. And Allen Iverson at quarterback. You saw Iverson pick up the first down at the 35.
Watch this replay, Tim. He shows why he has done such a good job just as sophomore, but is very elusive and makes a couple people miss.
Back to the live action. This is Michael Jackson, and Jackson will be stacked up for a loss at the 35.
Here's the Crabber defense. We have Tynes and Brown at the tackles. The guards are Tucker and Gary. The ends, Spencer and Snow. In the secondary at the linebackers, we have Newsom and King. The cornerbacks Ford and Stein and Hamlet is the safety, number
This
9.
Myron Newsom has really risen to the occasion this year for the Hampton Crabbers.
And he could be a good fullback from what I understand, Tim.
No gain on the play. Second down and 10. Jackson for 5 to the 30. Michael Jackson, who can carry the ball with the best of them. He had a very fine season, 99 carries, 528 yards in the first 9 games of this year, 5 touchdowns, and he had touchdowns of as little as 1 yard and as many as 87 on the carry. Here you see your replay. Jackson, this is just straight power.
Just straight ahead. Man-on-man blocking. Good job by the Bruin offense to open up that crease.
Second down and 5 for the Bruins. This is number 44, Kelly Gardner, getting the first carry of the ball game for him. And the Gardner picks up about 2 or 3. We'll see exactly where they spot the ball. Hampton Crabbers shaken up on the play. And we'll have to wait and see who this is going to be and how serious it might be. I cannot make out the number,
50,
but
maybe 55, Tim.
we won't want to speculate. That would be Myron Newsom if it is, in fact, 55. Here's your replay. Let's see if we can find it. Looks like Newsom is underneath that pileup.
Yes, he is.
And several bodies falling on him, and then he was not able to get up. He is being attended to by the trainer for the Crabbers, Diane Watkins.
And that's exactly who it is, and it's good to see him up.
And he
Get
may
a
have
nice
just had,
hand.
might have
Gotta
just had
come
the
out.
wind knocked out. So the Crabbers will not be charged with a timeout as long as he comes out of the game for at least one play.
First big play of the game for the Bruins on offense, Tim. 4th and 3.
They are in 4-down territory, you would imagine. Michael Jackson, he is close to the first down, depending again on where they spot the ball. He had to get across the 25.
Looks like that's where he's
Yep.
spotted.
So it'll be close. Well, now they move the ball back a bit. If that's where they're going to leave it, he'll come up about an inch short. You can quote me on that.
I'll quote you on that because you the eagle eye up here.
About an inch short. So the Crabbers hold on 4th down and take over.
Watch this on the replay, Tim.
Looked to me like it got a bad spot.
I would not want to.
That ball is well across the 25, but now if his knee touched down earlier and he dragged along the ground as they probably ruled, then that spot was correct. Nonetheless, a big play for the Crabber defense, something they're most familiar with as they take over on downs with a little more than 6.5 to go in the first quarter. A scoreless battle between the number 1 Hampton Crabbers and the number 6 Bethel Bruins, and I use those statistics statewide. Of course, in the district, they are tied with identical records.
They are that, and it's just been a Cinderella season for the Bruins. The coaches picked them to end up about 4th, but nobody knew that this young man, Mr. Allen Iverson, as we see the replay, would be such a dominating factor for this Bethel Bruin team. And has really brought the team together, Tim. They've just really listened to the coaches and done a good job.
Speaking of the coaches, there you see the jacketless Dennis Kozlowski. Wind chill about 100 below 0, and he's got no jacket on. Fred Brown on the keeper. He's going to pick up down. He lost the ball, but a good bounce for the Crabbers. Boy, they've had the breaks here in the
Well,
first
I
quarter.
tell you, the young man, he ran out of the tackle, but he had a hold of his arm and pulled the bar loose. Fred did a great job of getting back, getting that ball. You're right, good bounce.
You'll see it on the replay here. Brown, on the option play, had a trailing back, but really never thought about flipping the ball back. He was running all the way, and you see the ball come right back to him. That's what you call the luck of the bounce.
I tell you.
First down for the Crabbers at their 38-yard line.
It was Mike Dicker says, the heck with skill, give me all the luck I can get.
Right. Still no score, 5:17 remaining. Blitz coming for the Bruins, and they stack up the running play for a loss on the play. You know, the Bruin defense has been outstanding all year long. As I said, they have created 31 turnovers, 28 interceptions all total. They shut out opponents 5 different times and never allowed more than 19 points in any one ball game. So the Bruin defense has been what got them here. Allen Iverson has 13 interceptions himself.
No, Young man plays both sides of the ball.
Second down and a long 10. Let's call it 11. Again, the Bruins show blitz. This time Brown keeps and picks up good yardage, and he is out close to another first down. He'll be a little short.
Tim, the reason that Fred had such great running room there, the linebacker whose responsibility was one that came in on a blitz, got hung up in the line. When Fred made his breakthrough, there was nobody there to stop him and came very close to the first down. I think he's about a yard short.
Here's your replay. You see Brown, a most elusive running back when he carries the ball. And I say running back, he is the quarterback, but he would certainly complement any team at a tailback position. Third down and short. And movement by the Bruins. If the Crabbers did not pull them off, that'll be a first down.
Well, that's exactly what the Crabbers were doing.
Dead
And
ball.
Bruins know this is going to happen.
It's a defense.
So encroachment against the Bruins. And the Crabbers have done this for years, but you got to think that the Bruins were just hyped up a little bit because normally they wouldn't.
The flow.
Encroachment.
They know they're going to do that, but you just sometimes can't contain your eagerness to stuff that player.
So the Crabbers now with the ball in Bruin territory at the 47-yard line, first down. And nothing happening for the Crabbers this time as Adam Dunbar got the call. Number 5, Dunbar, carries the ball for the first time for Hampton, and he loses 2 yards. It'll be second down and 12. Watch the replay here.
And I mean, he was hit right away by big number 71 for the Bruins.
Yep. Rodney Epperly was underneath him and did a good job of submarining the play and caused the loss of 2 on the play. 3:13 remaining for this packed house here at Darling Stadium. 3:13 in the first quarter. Neither team has scored. The Bruins had the best penetration but lost the ball on downs. Brown looks, flag down. Brown has good yardage. He'll go out of bounds, but a flag back in the area where you would see holding, and that's what it is.
That's exactly the call.
It'll wipe out a superb effort by Fred Brown. And of course, that effort was complemented by the holding. So,
well, and the penalty is going to be from the point of the foul, Tim. That's going to be a big penalty.
That's a huge penalty against the Crabbers. Not only do you not get the ball at the Bruin 32-yard line, but now you're going to be back around your own 30-yard line. And that's just about where they'll mark the ball at the Hampton 31. Listen up to Bill Dozier.
Against the offense. Repeat second down.
So Bill Dozier told you it was holding against the offense. And it brings up second down instead of first down at the Bruin 32. So that was a huge penalty. That's a 38-yard penalty.
Almost 40, you're right.
Dunbar back in the backfield for the Crabbers. He has not seen a lot of action for Hampton this season. And I'm going to resort to the incredible number of statistics that have been given to me by my good buddy Mike Keach over at the Daily Press to tell you, Mr. Dunbar. And we've got
Fred
ball
actually
down right away.
He slipped down. I think he was going to run a quarterback draw, Tim, and his feet slipped out from under him. And he really just keeps putting Hampton further and further back.
Dunbar carried the ball 14 times for 75 yards this season. His best game was a 24-yard effort against the Menchville Monarchs last week. So it's third down and a country mile, 3rd and 36 for the Hampton Crabbers. 2:15, the clock is moving here in the first quarter. A defensive struggle, as many thought it would be. Brown gets away from one would-be tackler, picked up a good block, gets another good block, and now finally throws the ball, completes it to Stein at the 39-yard line, but he will not even be close to a first down. So a tremendous effort by Fred Brown. He ran 40 yards to pick up 9.
I tell you, and the pressure that the Bruin defense put on him was just unbelievable. He really didn't have a chance to stop and look at his receivers. The offensive line is going to have to do a little bit of job. But what Bruins are doing, Tim, is they're sending some linebackers in. Watch this. They are Tim Johnson come in that time and thought he had Brown. And
there was a block to the back that was not detected by the officials there. They could have called. Yeah, Brown had the presence of mind to spot Stein and then complete the pass, but of course it's well short. Stein, no rush, gets the kick away. Again, a relatively short kick. And the ball is loose. That ball will be recovered by the Crabbers.
What a big play. And I know Coach Khan's lost his things wide.
There was a flag down at the line of scrimmage. So hold everything. There's a flag down. Let's see what this is all about. Bill Dozier will tell us. Personal foul against the Crabbers. Now, is that a pre- or post-possession foul?
It probably was before the possession. So that means they'll have to go back and kick it again.
Boy, what a big break that'll be for the Bruins, and this has been a game of breaks so far. The Crabbers would have the ball without that penalty in Bruin territory, but a personal foul was committed by one of the Crabbers, and it'll be a penalty from the line of scrimmage. A big 15-yard mark off to the 25. Listen to Bill Dozier.
Personal foul. Replay the down, 4th down.
Boy, I'll tell you, you talk about breaks that have been a huge part of this ball game so far. The Crabbers would have had the ball in Bethel territory. Second time in this possession that they've been hurt by big penalties.
Yes.
38-yard penalty on the last one. This one, think about this one. The ball's down at the Bethel 30. They're back at their own 25 now. So they've been penalized, in essence, about 60 yards on this one drive.
Mike Smith is very angry. He wants to talk with Bill Dozier.
I'd like to know what the penalty was all about. He's going to burn a timeout to find out, I guess.
You know he's hot. He's got his hat on backwards, and he's ready for battle. But Bruins, again, Tim, are going to come out with excellent field position. They've had great field position every time. Both the only time they had the ball, they've had excellent field position.
You know, as I said, the key to that penalty as to how it would affect the play was, did it occur while the possession was being changed? And of course it did not.
Well, you have to assume that the penalty back at the line of scrimmage happened before the possession change.
And this is an interesting situation now. Bill Dozier is still over here at the sidelines, and they're getting the ball ready to play. I don't think they can do that.
No, they can't. They won't be able to play until he gets out there. He's got to be he's the main man.
So whatever the explanation was, it has been given to Mike Smith. There you see Mike and other coaches along the sideline. But the Crabbers will still have a 4th down. Stein will be standing back at about the 11-yard line. High snap, no rush. And he gets an end-over-end kick. Marlon Anderson feels it at the 48-yard line. It gets to the Hampton 48. And again, I look around for any yellow handkerchief. Do not see any. So for the second time in this ball game, the Bruins will have great field position to start the drive. At the Hampton 48-yard line, we'll get a chance to watch the replays. And there's no rush on Stein. If it hadn't been such a long distance on 4th down, you got to wonder if they're going to think about running the ball one of those times.
Well, Tim, again, if you're Bethel, you don't want to try to rush and then try to pick up a silly foul, roughing the kick or something. Stein had to hurry that time. That ball was centered real high.
Has not gotten good snaps 2 of the 3 times. This is Jackson. Jackson right side across the 45 down to about the 43-yard line before he's wrestled down by Stein and Snow.
That was a nice misdirection. He had the first back was going to the left, handed to Jackson coming to the right, picked up good yardage. You watch on the replay, the fake to the left and then the Jackson back to the right. Good camera work. As you can see the nice hitting out there.
The Bruins averaged 232 yards per game on the ground. Delay handoff Jackson. Jackson showing good speed. A late flag in the backfield.
Number 69 for the Bruins was holding the...
either holding or... Yep,
yes,
that's what
exactly what happened.
That's a shame that the penalties have to become such a major factor in this game, but if, they're being committed, you got to call them. Here's your replay. See if we can pick this up.
And I think what happened is he was just kind of laying on him, Tim, and didn't try to get off, and the official assumed that he held on or laid on him too long, I guess. I don't know.
Had a bit of a problem with our replay. If we have that, we'll get it for you again. Holding against the offense, so there's been a tremendous number of penalties on both teams here. We'll get those stats for it. Gary Moore is here with his handy-dandy little computer, and he will be giving us statistics throughout the ballgame. Iverson sidelines and loses his footing at the 40-yard line. Ball comes loose, but he was down, and the ball was blown dead long before he lost the ball.
Tim, Allen took off with that ball when he went off after the handoff. Did not look like he was even thinking about passing the ball. Almost picked up the first down. He would have had he not slipped.
Here's your replay. Iverson faked the handoff. He just has such great quickness, but he lost his footing there at the 40. It is third down and about 2, and a fumble in the backfield. The ball recovered by the Bruins, but they'll have a fourth down now. Actually, it appeared to be in the backfield. The ball down close to the first down marker. And now Bill Dozier is going to bring the sticks across, and he'll measure for the first down. No time remaining in the first quarter. The time has elapsed. And we'll get the measurement on this first down, and then they'll change ends. It's going to be short by about the length of the football. So they'll mark it, and then they'll switch ends, and we'll get the second quarter underway. Pretty much as I had expected it would be, Bob, a tough defensive battle. I've seen a lot more penalties than I thought I might see.
And those penalties have stymied a couple of first downs for both the Bethel Bruins and the Hampton Crabbers that would have changed the complexion of this game. Hampton had 2 that really hurt them. One on that long run by quarterback Brown. It was called back, and then one on the first punt. Bruins had a couple of them that had hurt them also, but this has been a game that the fans can appreciate, Tim. I look over and I see there's no seats available, and there are people standing all around the fence. I don't know what the capacity is. If it's 8,000, we got more than 8. We got closer to 9.
The penalties officially, and they don't tell the real story, 2 for 17 against Bethel and 2 for 34 against Hampton. What they don't tell you in the penalties is the number of yards that were not gained as a result of the penalty.
Well, yeah, true. They had picked up yardage that they subsequently lost in addition to that penalty.
So the Bruins now looking at a second situation where they're at a fourth down, and they are going to go for it. The last time they went for it on fourth, the Crabbers came up with the big D. The Bruins at the Hampton 38-yard line. They need to get a little further, about the length of the football. And Allen Iverson gets more than enough for the first down for the Bruins.
He went through a seam. There was just a nice hole opening there. And if young number, I believe that's number 2 for the Crabbers, Walter Ford made a nice tackle on him. As you can see, he broke through real easy off the left side.
Got a great block, and I mean, he just walked through there. What a tremendous block by the tackle and the guard on that left side. We'll give you their names in a minute. They deserve some credit on that. Ball is batted down, and an incomplete pass will be ruled by the referee.
That was the big number 70, Tim, for the Crabbers. Carlin Brown, now we've seen him play basketball. He can really get up in the air, and that's exactly what he did that time from his defensive tackle position.
Iverson's 2 blockers on that quarterback keeper. 6'7", 246, 6'1", 291. He knows where to find the hole. These guys create monstrous holes. This is Jackson, and Jackson dragged down just before he gets to the 25-yard line. A good defensive effort by the Crabbers. And again, that was number 75 in there, Tyrone Tynes Jr. And Tyrone did a good job of stopping the play for the Crabbers.
Well, we're looking at fourth down territory because the Crabbers do not have a good field goal kicker, Tim.
You mean the Bruins?
I'm sorry, the Bruins do not have a good field goal kicker, so they've got to get much, much closer before they'll even think of attempting a field goal.
26-yard line on the option play. This is Jackson. Another good effort that time. trying to turn the corner. He was upended by number 80, Wayne Spencer, another two-way player for the Crabbers. Spencer stopped that play, and now the Bruins will take a timeout, their first, as they will talk about this one before they decide what they're going to do. But I have to agree with you. I think we're in 4-down territory.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Talk about Wayne Spencer. Now, Wayne Spencer has been noted as a baseball player. I'm talking to Danny Mitchell early in the week. He said this young man is really quite a football player, has really come into his own, is playing a great defensive end as well as a tight end on the offense. And the Crabbers have got some young men that have stood up and gone into some situations that they were not starting at the first of the season, have done a real good job.
Spencer has come on very strong, as you said, in two capacities, because he has been the second leading receiver behind John Stein. And Mario Gatling, who started the season playing for the Crabbers, is not on the team any longer, so that was a big loss to them. Reggie Pittman also does not play for the Crabbers any longer, and those two young men were big, tall, wide receiver types, and Spencer has come on and done a fine job at that position. 4th down and 5 for the Bruins. They are going for it. Out of the I formation, two wide receivers left and right. Iverson wants to pass. Throws it over the middle. He's got Marlon Anderson. 1st down.
Nice catch.
Just like you map it out. The official kind of shaking up on the play. I'm not sure which official that is. I'm not sure if 59 is, but...
well, we've got Turlington and Thompson and Bullock and Young, and of course Dozier's the head man out there, so I'm not sure which one he is.
Turlington was the official shaking up on the play. But nonetheless, the completed pass from Iverson to Marlon Anderson gives the Bruins a 1st down. They did that with the greatest of ease. Anderson got out there, lined up, went down, button hooked, and they threw it to him.
Yeah, and you know when you're young, Tim, you have no fears. And Iverson just feels like he can do anything out there. And with that kind of confidence, and his team has confidence in him, they do a lot of things.
1st down at the Hampton 17, and we've got movement on the line, flags everywhere. And I believe this will be, yes, a illegal procedure against the Bruins.
Well, there was a little movement by the left side of the line. One of the guard or the tackle moved just a little bit, and of course you can't do that once you set. You just could hear Bill Dozier. That was a false start. He a little anxious. So now you got a 1st and 15.
That big left guard I was talking about earlier, Kevin Coulter, was the guilty party. Inside handoff, Gardner bullies his way inside the 15 down to about the 13-yard line. Kelly Gardner playing in place of the injured Steve Rimpsey. Gets good yardage down to the Hampton 13-yard line. It'll be...
He's 204, 5'11", Tim. As you can see, he's got a lot of power.
2nd down after the penalty. 2nd down at about 6. Gardner rather. Into the middle of the line for a gain of maybe a yard and a half. They marked the ball just inside the 11. Still no score from Darling Stadium. Tim Cole with Bob Hintz, the Hampton Crabbers and the Bethel Bruins in the Battle of the Unbeatens. The winner wins the Peninsula District, and the loser is runner-up, and that does have a great effect on who they play in the playoffs.
But Tim, that penalty had a big thing. They would already had a 1st down had they not had that 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd and 4.
The intended pass for Marlon Anderson broken up nicely at about the 1-yard line by the Crabbers. And we'll get a chance to watch it on the replay. Iverson goes straight back, has time, and throws. Anderson is there, but also Sean Hamlet was there for the Hampton Crabbers. I do believe that was number 9.
And we got a field goal attempt by number 49 for the Bruins.
That is Coffey who kicks the extra points. This will be a 27-yarder. It's good! So the Bethel Bethel Bruins did not kick a field goal all year long, but they get one this time from the toe of Coffey.
And this young man has struggled all year with his kicking extra points, and a big situation comes down the line, and he puts it through the uprights, so the Bruins take the early lead 3-0, as you can see on the replay. Nice kick, Tim, and he was none too close.
No, he just did get it over, but that's all you have to do. So the Bruins score first.
And if you think that's the only score that's going to be made tonight, I think you got it wrong.
I don't know. 12 plays. The Bruins kept the ball for 7 minutes and 34 seconds. They drove 39 yards and capped it with the 27-yard Coffey field goal at the 20. And they finally blow the whistle. I could not hear the whistle for the crowd. That was Walter Ford, who was returning the kick for the Crabbers. They mark his forward progress at the 32-yard line. So the Crabbers find themselves trailing, one of the few times this season that has happened. Crabbers have been in some tough ball games. As many of you may know, they narrowly defeated the Warwick Raiders on a last-second field goal to win that game 13-10. And we have movement now again, whether they were drawn off or jumped will be the question.
Well, there's no doubt that it was against the Bruins again, and that's encroachment.
Crabbers won a game, second game of the season against Kickintan by 6 points, and then beat Warwick by 3, and after that, the closest anyone came.
Against the defense, first down.
Denby was a 25-20 victim in the game before last. Benchville 24-6 last week. So the Crabbers have had some tough encounters. This is Brown. Brown's got the first down across 50, down to the 45-yard line.
Did a great job of making a couple people miss some tackles. They got caught from behind, Tim. Nice run by Fred Brown. I talked to Fred today. I said, when we first started calling your name last year, we called you Alex, because that's what he went by. But Coach Smith and the coaching staff started calling Fred, so that's what he goes by now.
46-yard line of the Bethel Bruins. 8:08 remaining in the first half. Long count by Brown. This is a handoff to Ellison. Ellison pulls his way down inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line. Ellison coming off of a very serious injury, in the sense if you've ever had a dislocated shoulder, that's something that you don't just get over very easily. He had that happen 2 games ago.
And Tim, what happened is when he fell, his elbow came down and popped it out. They popped it back in, and man, he was ready to play ball.
Second down and about 3. This is Brown, shovels the ball to Ellison, and Ellison will be close to a first down, but it looks like he'll be maybe a half a yard short.
Boy, I'm sure that the coaching staff had a lump in the throat that time. The ball seemed to squirt out there. That was a real hard stop.
Here's your replay as you see Brown on the option play. Flips back to Ellison. And Ellison defended very well by the Bruins. He just had nowhere to go and very wisely tucked that ball in. But now I did not detect it, but apparently, I was going to say, I thought they were marking up a penalty, but they're going to measure. Ellison, just to give you some insight on the season, he carried the ball 122 times for 748 yards, and he got 720 of those in 7 games. He did not play the last 2 games. Well, that's a 6.1 per game average.
When he got hurt 2 games ago, he did not play last game. He played just a very little bit in that game 2 games ago.
And again, we want to thank Mike Keach and Al Pierce and Sonny Dirth, Eric Pugh, all of the help that we get from the Daily Press in compiling the statistics that we use for these games. And without their help, we would be hard-pressed to give you all of the insight that there is. So again, we appreciate those gentlemen and their contributions to our broadcast. Third down and about a foot Dunbar gets the call, and he gets the first down.
It looked like there was some movement on the line of scrimmage, but no flag come out.
Looked like Dunbar might have left a little early, to be honest with you. But of course, no flag on the play, and we're way up here. The officials right on top of the play ruled a no flag situation. So a first down for Hampton at the Bruin 35-yard line. 6:50 remaining in the first half. A packed standing room only crowd at Darling Stadium. Crabbers ranked 12th nationally by USA Today, 8th by ESPN. Pitch goes to Ellison. Not much happening as, again, that left side led by Joseph Manley, 36, among others. Others over there, 89. In on the stop was Chris Gaskell for the Bruins.
I tell you, Tim, it's really been a tremendous job the Bruin defense is doing. They're making the Hampton pick a different hole than they normally pick.
They got about a half a yard on that play.
Bethel is making them go outside, and they want to go off tackle.
Second down for the Crabbers. Brown wants to pass. Over the middle, decides to run with the ball instead, and Brown picks up about 5 to the 30-yard line, brings up a third down. Well, he just hasn't had time tonight, and he hasn't had any open receivers. He's been really hard pressed by that fine Bethel defense.
He really is, Tim.
Get a chance to watch this again. Brown goes back. This is Tim Johnson trying to put some pressure, but he is effectively blocked out of the play. But Brown, for whatever reason, has elected to run. Oh, I hate to see the quarterback carry that ball like that.
Hey.
I don't care whose team you're rooting for. That's dangerous when you carry that ball like that loaf of bread.
And I've never carried a loaf of bread like that.
Sure you do.
You hear it all the time.
Third down and 5 for the Crabbers. They trail 3-0. Brown again back to pass. Now he does. He throws and right to the hands of the Bethel Bruin. Ball is loose. The Crabbers will recover. Brian Bean made the ING and then coughed it up.
What a change of, you talk about a roller coaster of emotions.
Brian Bean, you'll see the replay here. Brian Bean, number 21, has the ball thrown right to him. Brown unloads it, intended.
I think it's going for Spencer.
Well, he was going for number 90. Here you see Bean. He looks like he's in good shape right here. And then he's hit from behind. Sean Hamlet knocked the ball loose.
Put his helmet right on the ball, Tim.
Boy, you talk about the breaks. Crabbers, instead of giving the ball up, have it as a first down at the Bruin 15.
That's 2 quick turnovers.
Oh,
boom, boom.
You don't get any quicker than that. And how crucial this might be. Crabbers keep the drive alive. Brown pitches. Ellison, right side, puts his head down and drives inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line.
Well, I tell you, I'm very impressed with the Bethel Bruin pass defense. Brown has had a chance to throw. The receiver's been covered.
Yes, they
and
have.
when they have not been covered, he hasn't had a chance to look and find them.
Here's the replay. Ellison, again, Bean, who made that interception a while ago, just drove Ellison out of bounds. Dunbar will bring a play in from Mike Smith. Clock stops with 4:29 remaining. It's second down and about 3. Fred Brown out of the eye. Ellison inside the 5, down to the 1-yard line. First and goal for the Crabbers.
What a nice job of blocking on the left side by that offensive line, Tim. They really opened up a nice hole for Charlie Ellenson to come through. They've been running most of their plays to the right side. That one went back to the left side and caught the Bruins in probably a stud or something defensively, as you can see. Ellison almost made it to the end zone. Nice tackle there by the Bethel Bruin. Tim, I can't pick up his number.
First and goal for the Crabbers. 4 minutes remaining in the first half. They trail 3-0, but they're knocking on the door. Fred Brown wants to keep it. He will not get in. That Bruin defense is tough. Brown stacked up. Fred Brown knows how to carry the ball. He had 7 rushing touchdowns this season. And he, by the way, threw for another 10. Responsible for 17 altogether this season. And now a timeout called by the Crabbers. Some indecision.
That's not a bad decision because you may have gotten a penalty on a delay of game.
Oh, you've got to do that. You can't afford a 5-yard penalty against this Bruin defense. You don't want to be back.
And now when you're down knocking it inside on the 1-yard line.
3:29 remains in the first half. 3-0 the Bruins. If you joined us late, you're watching the battle for the Peninsula District between the arch rival Hampton Crabbers and the Bethel Bruins. Each team with identical 9-0, 8-0 records. 9-0 overall, 8-0 in the district. The Bruin defense, in years past, it was the Hampton defense that you spoke about, and certainly they have a very fine one. But the Bruin defense this year has been outstanding with 5 shutouts. Shut out their first 4 opponents. I was looking through all these statistics that Mike Keach and the Daily Press was able to give me, and one thing that came to mind here when I was looking them over was the turnovers. Turnovers which have given the Crabbers this ideal opportunity. The Crabbers turned the ball over 9 times in 9 games, while their opponents turned it over 18 times, a 2-to-1 ratio. But the Crabbers in 4 games alone did not turn the ball over at all. That's almost unheard of in high school football.
It really is.
2nd and goal at the 1. Dunbar and Allison are the running backs. Fake to Dunbar. No, he gives to Dunbar, and Dunbar is not in. Boy, I love it when the crowd roars, both sides are full. This is the way to play football.
Oh, if this doesn't get your adrenaline flowing enough, you might be dead. You better check yourself.
Now, on the turnover situation, Bob, to carry it one step further, the Bruins turned the ball over 15 times as a team. Only 1 game did they not turn it over. However, they caused 31 turnovers by their opponents. And we've already seen...
That's a little bit better than 2-to-1.
Yeah, we've already seen that tonight. Each team turned the ball over on 1 play. 3rd down and goal at the 1. Oh, what a defensive play by Tim Johnson.
He got in that backfield awful fast.
What a play by Tim Johnson.
Nobody touched him.
Now what do you do?
You kick the field goal, Tim. You can't come away empty-handed.
Sam Welch will come on. He has 5 field goals on the season.
Watch the replay. Look at Tim Johnson.
Tim
coming
Johnson
from the left-hand side. Came all the way over from the left-hand side to make that tackle.
This will be a 19-yard field goal. Welch will try and tie it out of the hole. The kick is long enough, and it's good.
Tie game.
If this thing was any tighter, you just couldn't have it that way.
I'd
What
like
a
to
game.
see that defensive play again by Tim Johnson. Tim, he was the linebacker on the left-hand side, shot the gap, went all the way on the other side and made the tackle in the backfield.
All right, we'll return to Darling Stadium for the conclusion of the first half, but first, a brief timeout. A minute 59 remaining in the first half. The Bruins 3, the Crabbers 3. What a goal line defense by the Bethel Bruins. Tim Johnson spearheading the 3rd down and goal and caused the Crabbers to settle for the field goal. Marlon Anderson follows the bouncing ball at the 10-yard line and gets out to the 15. It'll be first down for the Bruins.
If you're a coach, Tim, you hate to see a punt or a kickoff hit the ground. You want to catch it in the air because that ball takes such a crazy bounce. That ball bounced at about the 25. They didn't catch up with it until it got around the 10-yard line, and you can see Bruins have got the worst field position they've had all night.
They'll start from just inside their 15. And the fans here at Darling Stadium have been treated to a superb effort by both squads so far tonight. Iverson As wide receivers, 2 to each side, 1 setback, and that setback is Gardner, and Gardner bulls his way out to about the 18-yard line.
Ran right into Lloyd Tucker, big number 74, and he had some help, but Lloyd is no slouch on that side, Tim. He is 6'1", 240, and he's just a junior.
Bruins might be content just to run out the time remaining here in the first half. 1 minute and 13 remaining. The Bruins with 3 timeouts remaining. While the
they've each taken one.
Well, I thought they had. I'm looking at the scoreboard. Iverson scrambling. Now throws and incomplete.
The ball skipped off the turf. Nice call by the official. We got flags, 2 flags, Tim. One over here in the midfield and one over there by where Allen threw the ball. We'll have to wait and see what the call is.
Clock stops with 56 seconds remaining in the first half.
I tell you, Allen Iverson, better known as Bubber Chuck, is real excited. he gets the fans. They don't want to sit down when he's got the ball.
All right, the penalty was an illegal receiver downfield against the Bruins. As so many times when you have that type of scrambling, you will have a lineman that will go downfield. There you see Iverson throw the ball. It goes incomplete. And, of course, the Crabbers will take the play as it stands. Brings up a 3rd down, and now the Bruins will take a timeout. So some confusion on the part of Bethel. And they take their 2nd timeout of the ball game.
Well, Mike Smith has had 2 timeouts. Remember, he had 1 timeout when he wanted to talk to the official about the penalty, and then he had another one when they were getting ready hoping to take the ball in to get the touchdown. So each team has used 2 timeouts, which Mike Smith hopes happens here is at least if they can get stop the Bruins, stop the clock, get the ball back, and maybe have a chance to move the ball down. As they showed they can do that against a fine Warwick team. They moved the ball down with just a few seconds left to go and kicked the field goal as time expired.
56 seconds remaining in the first half. We haven't had much opportunity to discuss the postseason possibilities for these 2 teams, and the reason is that we really don't have any solidity to their schedule because the game depends on this game depends on who they'll play. But as this game develops, and once we develop a winner, we'll be able to tell you more about the playoff situation. Iverson, still on his feet, finally goes down.
He is hard to bring down.
3 or 4
The Crabbers are trying to call timeout. Now they finally get it.
3 or 4 Crabbers had a shot at him and finally got him down at about the 17-yard line.
He doesn't give you a real good, clean shot at him. He's so elusive out there. Tim, Bethel has had problems in a couple of games.
While we're talking, let's let the fans watch this again.
The replay of centering the ball to their punter. And Hampton very strongly probably will go and try to block this punt.
Now watch right here. It looks like he's down for sure. He gets away from one. He gets away from another. And finally is tackled by a 3rd Crabber.
As you can see, they're putting Sean Hamlet deep, Tim. The other 10 Crabbers are going to be on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, you don't want any chances. What do you do here, Coach? Do you think they'll rush the
I would.
the kicker?
Absolutely.
See if you can block it,
Absolutely.
create a turnover?
Bethel has had a couple of times this year that they've not had real good snaps from the center that you and I have done a ball game. You put pressure on the kicker. The kicker knows they're going to come. Maybe he'll make a mistake. Bad kick, whatever, good field position. He's got 40-some seconds. Got a chance to get close and do a field goal again.
The kicker you refer to is Leslie Smith. Leslie averages about 34 yards per kick. He'll be
only sending 8.
Kicking it with a crosswind. Gets a good snap. Crabbers are coming, but he gets it away. It goes out of bounds on the near sideline, so Hampton will have very fine field position and 36 seconds to work with, but unfortunately you see the story on the scoreboard, no timeouts remaining. There's the ball on the change of possession and on the out-of-bounds play. They'll set it in play, and then the Crabbers will go from there and line it up just. Well, that was not a great spot, I don't think. He lost
well,
about
Danny
4
Mitchell
yards.
showed him where it was, and he didn't believe it. He moved down about 4 more yards.
So I thought it was around the 40, but in fact it's at the 45. Fred Brown at quarter. Flips to Sean Hamlin. Hamlin bobbing and weaving his way down the sideline, does not get out of bounds. Or at least I don't see a signal
No, he did not get out
to
of
stop
bounds.
the clock. So with 22 seconds, clock is moving. Crabbers will have to hurry to get, well, they'll get one more play at least. Brown wants to go long, 5 seconds, throws long, Hamlet, this time Bean intercepts, and he does not fumble. A touchback with just 2 seconds remaining. Brian Bean with his second interception of the ball game.
Well, Tim, that ball was thrown too flat. Sean Hamlet was behind. You got to give the receiver a chance to catch the ball. Fred just underthrew that ball.
In defense of Brown, the wind chill is incredible, and the wind blowing up to 40-mile-an-hour gusts. I don't know how anyone could effectively throw the ball.
Well, I don't know how he gets as good as he does, that's true, but had the ball been thrown long, Sean would have had a chance to get it in the end zone.
You see the replay, the ball just hung up there, that wind causing it to go off the mark, and then Brian Bean was there for the interception for the Bruins. Marlon Anderson, the receiver, far sideline, no time left on the clock. He is driven out of bounds, and that will do it for 24 minutes. Now we remind you that Karen Schaffner will have all of the halftime activities for you at the conclusion of tonight's ball game. We'll return to Darling Stadium with the third quarter of action after a brief timeout.
This is WHCS Cable TV 5, Hampton, Virginia.
Back at freezing Darling Stadium. I walked outside, Bob, during the halftime break just to see what it's like. The wind is still ferocious. It's every bit of 30, 40-mile-an-hour gusts and steady wind across the field. So it is going to be a factor in the second half of this game. Fortunately, we have not seen any of the rain yet, so hopefully that'll hold off. Statistically, in the first half, the Bruins had 5 first downs to 7 for the Crabbers. Crabbers had 6 rushing, 1 by penalty. The Bruins had 2 rushing, 2 passing, and 1 by penalty. Third down efficiency, the Bruins were 0 for 5, while the Bruins were 2 of 6.
But the Crabbers were 2 of 6.
What did I say?
You said the Bruins both times.
Wake me up. The Crabbers 2 of 6. Yeah, I knew that. 92 yards net for the Bruins, 90 for the Crabbers. 73 yards rushing for Bethel, 69 for Hampton. Passing yardage 19 for Bethel, 22 for Hampton. The passes attempted and completed, each quarterback attempted 5 passes. The Bruins connected on 2, as did the Crabbers, but the Crabbers also had 2 picked off. Brian Bean with those 2 interceptions. The turnovers, fumbles, the Bruins fumbled and lost 1, while the Crabbers fumbled and did not lose it. So the Crabbers had 2 turnovers, while the Bruins had 1 here in the first half. Penalties, 4 for 27 yards for Bethel and 2 for 34 for Hampton. But as I said before, those penalties did not tell the story of the number of yards not gained as a result of the penalties.
That's true, Tim. And hearing your statistics, it really, you can see why it's a 3-3 game. They're so close.
The time of possession, however, is not close, in that the Bruins had the ball for almost 16 minutes, while Hampton had it for just 8. Individually, Iverson was the leading rusher for Bethel with 35 yards on 4 carries. Jackson had 20 yards on 7 carries. And Gardner had 18 yards on 5 carries. For the Crabbers, Brown, interestingly, for both teams, the quarterbacks are the leading rushers. Brown carried the ball 8 times for 53 yards. His longest was 17. Iverson's longest was 14. Ellison carried 10 times for 17 yards. The Bruins have done a very effective job of shutting him down, although one of those carries ended in a net loss of 10 yards. So that was, of course, a big factor for Ellison's statistics. Dunbar carried the ball 3 times, gained 2 and lost 2, and therefore has a total of no yards. And Milo 1 carry for less than a yard on the play. Iverson passing 2 of 5 for 19, and Brown 2 of 5 for 21. Brown intercepted twice, as I said before, by Brian Beam. Marlon Anderson is the receiver of the 2 passes thrown by Iverson for 19 yards. And Hamlet had 1 catch for Hampton for 9 and Stein the other for 12. If you recall, that Stein completion was after Brown had scrambled considerably and picked up about 9 yards, but still left him well short of the first
then he's
down.
had 2 receptions because he caught one down here towards the end of the first half. He caught a ball on a real quick, like a screen. So Stein. So Stein really has 2. So I'm going to have to get Gary on his.
We'll check with Gary on that.
Yeah.
It might have been Stein that caught both of those instead of Hamlet. But,
that may have been what it was, Tim. This game is all it was billed and expected. I think had the win not been as a big a factor, we'd probably see a little more scoring than we have seen. But these teams are very, very close in their statistics all night, and we really want to thank the stadium staff here. Larry Malloy and his staff have just done an excellent job. And you can see John Johnson and John Grober, Harold Christian, Ricky Rawls, who is an old Bethel Bruin, and Mary Sykes.
And we do appreciate it. They've done a fine job, and they always do everything possible to make us feel totally at home. Kickoff to start the second half. Marlon Anderson bobbles it, picks it back up, and gets out close to the 27-yard line, where the Bruins will start 1st and 10 in a 3-all tie. The only scores for each team: a 27-yard field goal by Coffey for Bruins and a 19-yard kick, the 6th of the season for Samuel Welch. And you are correct. Stein got both of those catches. Gary relents to you. And,
well, I knew Stein. I couldn't remember Hamlet getting one, but I knew Stein had 2. We'll see what kind of adjustments offensively and defensive these 2 teams did at the second half. I tell you, number 44 for the Bethel Bruins.
Kelly Gardner really was not to be denied.
He is really impressing me.
Gardner picks up about 13 yards on the play. A first down for the Bethel Bruins. You'll see this one again. You'll see just brute strength here on the part of Gardner. He just dragged Crabbers before he got the first down. Back to the live action. Allen Iverson on the keep. Picks up 2, 2nd down and 8 for the Bruins. A packed house, standing room only at Darling Stadium, and I counted noses out there a few minutes ago. No one's left.
If they have,
all still
you wouldn't notice it. Well, that time Mr. Gardner ran into the tough, stingy defensive line, and getting off at the bottom of that pile looks like I can't pick up his number.
The numerals are hard to pick up on the Crabbers, but the play nonetheless brings up a 3rd down and 7 for the Bruins. Out of the I formation, Marlon to the near side. Marlon Anderson. The flip goes to Michael Jackson, runs into his own man, and then the Crabbers swarm him over for a 4th down.
Newsom, number 55, Tim, was the one that did an excellent job that time.
Newsom shaken up early in the ball game, but has been back in and has not missed a beat. Now the Bruins with a 4th down and 8. Here's your replay. The flip goes to Jackson. He ran into his own big lineman
Big number 75 is the one that really messed that up for the Crabbers. He was right in the middle of everything, and that's Tyrone Tynes.
And then Hargraves, the big lineman. Oh, the bad snap from center, but the Bruins get a break, no one on the rush. Sean Hamlet looks at the ball, thought about fielding it, and then let it go, and a good roll for the Bruins. It rolls all the way to the Hampton 15-yard line. No penalties on the field. So the Crabbers will start from their 15. In retrospect, good old 20/20 hindsight, Hamlet should have played the ball.
Again, if I go back to what I said in the first half, if you're a coach, you hate to see a punt or a kickoff hit the ground. You want to catch it. He gave up a good 20 yards on the bounce, Tim.
So the Bruins got a first down on that second half possession, but then bogged down on a good defensive effort by the Crabbers, and now Fred Brown will direct the Crabber offense from his 15. Out of the I formation, handoff goes to Shelly Ellison. Ellison picks up 5 to the 20. One of the things you have to know that Mike Smith talked to his team about was making sure Tim Johnson doesn't get loose in that defensive area for the Bruins. He had a huge play on a third and goal for the Crabbers that forced them to take the field goal. Gain of 5 on the play, second down and 5 for the Crabbers. Brown fakes the handoff, and then he is stacked up for no gain. Joseph Manley, a name I've called repeatedly for the Bruins tonight, in among others, and one of those others was big 79 Barry Hargraves. And he's 6'7", 246.
Just a little kid.
Just a growing boy. He's only a junior. Here's your replay.
They just know where to go.
Manley is there, but actually Hargraves was tackling Dunbar, who the fake had been given to, or at least the fake was there, and Dunbar was the man who was faked to. Brown, short drop, and he is snowed under.
See, this is where the Bruins have put pressure all night on the quarterback for the Crabbers. Fred has just not had a chance to drop back and set up and find a receiver. The couple times he's had the chance, nobody's been open, but that time, that bounce on that punt really hurt him, Tim. They're punting from deep in their own end zone, or deep in their own end of the field.
No rush again. Stein, again, not a good kick. It gets a Hampton roll, and again, the roll will be beneficial to the punter as it rolls dead at the Bruin 46-yard line.
But look at you're talking about another 20 yards had he been able to punt the ball where if Stein could have fair caught the ball.
And that's the thing you see in the pros, you see in college, is they don't let that ball bounce because it can.
Well, this wind is really confusing them. I'm sure that they're not sure how far that ball is going to go when it's being kicked, and not trying to put down any of the ball players out there. That wind has had a lot of effect, Tim. Say hi, Mom.
Well, the Bruins will take over at their 46-yard line, their second possession of the half. Iverson on the keeper, and Iverson will get back to the line of scrimmage and a little more.
And it looked like Shelton Snow, number 30, was in on the play. Plays fullback on offense, defensive end.
But you knew this had to boil down to a defensive game in most senses because the Crabbers are number 1 on defense with 165 total yards per game, and the Bruins number 2 with 168. So you knew this was going to be this type of second half, and again, the defense is there to stop Michael Jackson. He's out to the 48-yard line. It'll bring up a third down and 8. It's a chess game now to see who's going to make the turnover, who's going to get the best field position.
That's true, Tim. Plus, both coaches have made some adjustments at halftime.
Third down and 8 for the Bruins. Out of the I formation, second man through. Michael Jackson, he has got the first down.
Great job, Michael Jackson did that time.
Jackson burst through the line for the first down. Michael Jackson, who has had a very fine season, as I mentioned before, averaging about 5 yards a carry. Here's your replay, 5 touchdowns for Jackson. And you see his great speed there, extra effort at the end, got him the first down.
He really did, Tim. He put his hand down so his knee wouldn't touch and picked up another 4 or 5 yards, which gave him the first down.
Ball is marked at the Hampton 41-yard line, first down. Bruins a little confused about when this play was going to start. Get up to the line of scrimmage. Iverson still has the football. Iverson takes the first down and more.
Exciting young man when he gets the ball. He's so hard to bring down.
Another Bruin first down. You don't think this guy to my left doing the stats is excited about this game, do you?
I think he might be getting a little excited. We're talking, of course, of Gary Moore, stepdad to Allen Iverson, the young man right there, number 10.
First down for the Bruins. And stacked up at the line was Matt Harris, who has not carried the ball often this evening for Bethel. Number 32, Harris, 29 carries, 114 yards on the season, and a touchdown.
Well, they gave him a yard on that, Tim. He was pushed back, but his forward progress got him across the 25.
Hey, we're going to have a player of the game for this
Yeah,
thing?
and I'm going to try. I'm going to try to get this in, too.
We've been so excited about the game, we've forgotten about all the other stuff. Second down and 9. Iverson fakes, wants to throw. He does, and it's a touchdown! Kelly Rogers in the end zone!
The defensive back on that side, Ford just lost the ball, Tim.
Kelly Rogers, a 26-yard touchdown pass on the play-action fake from Allen Iverson. Rogers has had 5 touchdown grabs in the last 3 ball games. Coffey will be on to try the extra point. Allen Iverson got the crowd to quiet down so they can hear the snap. The ball is going to be well short, actually blocked by the Crabbers.
Well, Tim, while we have a
That
break.
set up an interesting scenario.
Yeah, really. Let me go through who's the player of the game. I got a chance to. We have a T-shirt for the player of the game that has been donated by the Sports Place, which is located at Hampton Woods Plaza on Big Bethel Road. Dave Chubb is the young man you need to see there for all your screen printing needs. We're also going to give a plaque to the player of the game, which is donated by DC Engraving, which is a sample metal photo. This is one of the many quality styles you'll find at DC Engraving. They're at a new location in Tabb Square on Route 17. Dave Buckwalder is the young man you need to see at DC Engraving.
Now that replay you saw there, Walter Ford was doing a good job of covering. The ball was underthrown a bit, and Ford kind of got tangled up and got away from the ball, and Kelly Rogers, the fine receiver that he is, stayed right with the football to make the touchdown grab. 24 yards unofficially, and a 6-point lead for the Bruins. This is Ford, and Ford is down across the 25 to the 26. Allen Iverson set that play up so well with the play-action fake.
He really did, and all credit to Ford. Ford did a good job. He stayed with his man, but he did lose the ball. Ball being underthrown, he turned around. Kelly was able to get back to the ball and make the reception. Nice job by Kelly Rogers.
Crabbers will start from their 26-yard line. 4:35 remaining in the third quarter. The Bruins led 3-0. The Crabbers tied it. And now the Bruins have regained the lead with a touchdown. This is Ellison for the first down across the 37-yard line.
And he is so close to breaking one, Tim. It seems like 1 or 2 men left get the hand on his leg and drop him. But the Bruins cannot relax now. You scored a touchdown, you missed the extra point. That's the scenario you was talking about. The Bruins only have a 6-point lead.
Ellison across the 40 to the 41. Crabbers going on the left side now. Inside of 4 minutes to go in the third. A packed house at Darling Stadium. This game videotaped the 8th of November, 1991. Tim Cole with Bob Hintz and the crew from WHCS Channel 5. Hope you're enjoying the ball game. It has been everything you would have hoped it would be. Brown, short drop. He's got Sean Hamlin at the 45-yard line. First down.
That was a beautiful play by Fred Brown. He faked the dive, real quick slant in by Hamlet. Ball right on the money.
They mark it at the Bruin 37-yard line, so just like that, the Crabbers are back in business at the Bethel 37, first down. Stein wide to the right. Sean Hamlet comes to the near side. Out of the I formation, Snow and Ellis in the backfield. Second man through, Ellison pulls his way across the 35 to about the 34.
Tim, we've got the windows shut, and I can hear the smack of the pads. There's some hitting going on out there tonight.
Inside the 35-yard line, a gain of about 3. Second down and call it 7. Temperature at game time in the low to mid 40s. A wind chill factor below who knows what. Winds of 40 miles an hour and gusting. And a packed house. I love to see it. This is Ellison again. Ellison drives down to the 31-yard line. Brings up a third down, a big third down for the Crabbers now, as they'll be looking at third and about 4. They mark the ball just across the 32-yard line, so it'll actually be closer to 5.
And I apologize for calling Shelley Ellison instead of Ellison. I was thinking of Ray over there, Bethel. I get excited sometimes.
Stein to the left side this time. Hamlet to this top of your screen. Brown fakes on the handoff, and he is swarmed over. In on the stop, number 89, Chris Gaskell for the Bruins. And the Crabbers now will be looking at a 4th and about 4.
Tim, it's in this position, I think you got to go for it if you're Mike Smith. You're not going to punt the ball. And it's too long for a field goal because you're talking a 46, 47-yarder.
Well, the hard count, or at least the long count, worked earlier. Do you think Bethel would fall for it this time?
I don't think so. It's worked a couple times tonight.
They don't even try it. Brown on the opposite. Pitches. Ellison will not get the first down. He will come up short. And wait till you hear the response from the Bruins side of the field. They're going to look at it real carefully. I may have been premature, but I don't think he got it.
I wouldn't want to even speculate from this point. It's going to be very, very close.
Well, the spot will determine.
I'd like to see the replay. Who made the tackle on it?
He didn't get it.
That was Iverson that made the tackle, Tim.
He did not get the first down. The chain gang, in their haste to get back off the field over there, tripped up somebody, and I think they may have pulled the chain off of the yard mark.
Have a momentary timeout here, and we get the.
Well, we apparently do not have that replay again, but we're told that Allen Iverson, Mr. Do-It-All over at Bethel, made the stop. Now the Crabber defense has to dig in, and they do. A lot of time remaining. There's 47 seconds left in the third, but of course you have the whole fourth quarter ahead of you. And the Crabbers have proven throughout the season that they are explosive when they need to be.
And they come from behind. They've done that against a real tough Raider team. They trailed there by going into the fourth quarter.
Second down and 8 for the Bruins. In motion, Tim Johnson. Pitch goes to Michael Jackson on the delay, and Jackson gets back to the line of scrimmage, and the Crabbers are there and waiting.
in essence, Tim, what that gives you is an unbalanced line. When they drop the defense, they drop the tight end in the backfield. The wide receiver then becomes a split end instead of a flanker.
At the end of the third quarter.
And there you go, down to third quarter, Tim.
So 3 quarters have been played, and the Bruins, on the strength of the 24-yard touchdown pass from Allen Iverson to Kelly Rogers, lead 9-3 as we go into the fourth quarter.
Let me again talk about the player of the game, because this is something we've got to start considering. We will be giving a plaque to the player of the game, which is donated by DC Engraving. The plaque's a metal photo, which is one of the many quality styles you'll find in DC Engraving. DC Engraving is a new location at Taft Square on Route 17 called Dave Buckwalder at 596-8850 for all your engraving or color copying needs. We'll also be given a t-shirt which will say player of the game on it. This is donated by the Sports Place, which is also at a new location in Hampton Woods Plaza on Big Bethel Road. Dave Chubb is a young man you need to see there for all your screen printing needs.
And a reminder, too, that you can keep on top of the latest news affecting Hampton roads. Watch Channel 5 News with Beverly Penn every day at 1, 5, and 9 p.m. right here on Channel 5. Third down and about 8 for the Bruins. The Hampton Crabber crowd on their feet.
They're being extorted by the Crabbers on the field, Tim.
That noise can make a factor when you're trying to hear the signal count. Iverson still has the football, and Iverson flips the ball. And on the option play, Michael Jackson gets the first down. But are they going to say the ball was down?
Yeah, they got a flag back here, Tim. Maybe an illegal pass, or I don't know. Well, if he's behind the line of scrimmage, well, if he's in front of the line
That's
of
what
scrimmage,
it was, an illegal forward pass.
Illegal
Okay.
forward pass.
I thought the ball came out of nowhere because I was watching Iverson. All of a sudden, Michael Jackson had the ball, but an illegal forward pass was the reason that Jackson got it. Listen to Bill Dozier.
Illegal forward pass against them. Loss of down. Fourth down.
That is a big penalty, Tim, because they do lose the down, so that brings up a punting situation. And the last time the Bruins were in a punting situation, they skipped the ball back to the punter. Hampton should end up with decent field position this time.
So the Bruins, instead of a first down, have a fourth down and about 7. Watch the snap from center. Good one this time. Smith gets the kick away. And it takes a Hampton roll back towards the middle of the field, and the Crabbers will have it at midfield. So one of the few times we have not seen a favorable roll on the punt. This time it was kind of like a chip shot you might hit with your 9-iron. The ball
little backspin.
Backspin.
But
right?
you notice how that ball drifts over towards us? That's the direction the wind is blowing it, Tim. And I mean, we're talking about that ball must have been blown to the left of the punter a good 15, 20 yards before it came down.
Fourth quarter just underway. Crabbers have it at midfield. Fred Brown, quarterback, gives to Ellison, and Ellison picks up a yard, maybe. Give some credit to the Bruins here on defense. 55 was over there. That is Jonathan Dean, along with number 11, and that's Xavier Gunn. Get a chance to watch the replay on defense as the crowd goes into the wave. Ellison right side, tackled first by 55, Dean. Second down and 9 for the Crabbers. Stein to the near side, wide receiver, and Hamlet to the left. Out of the eye, Brown has time, wants to pass over the middle for Stein. Does he make the catch?
Yeah, he's holding the ball up, and they're calling it a good catch, which is a first down. That John Stein has just done that all year. Excellent hands, Tim.
Stein for the first down at the Bruin 38-yard line.
And the young man is either first or second in his class scholastically.
I always like to hear that.
He is just an outstanding scholar as well as an athlete.
28 catches on the season,
Watch this,
488
replay.
yards. Stein whipped the ball. Brown to him. What a grab. First down, Crabbers, 38-yard line of Bethel. This is Ellison. Ellison bulls his way down to the 30-yard line. Fine effort, 8 yards on the play for Shelly Ellison.
I think they're going to mark it short of the 30, Tim.
They do, in fact, mark it at the 30.
They say his D came down.
So he still got almost 8.
I'll give him 8.
Here's your replay. Watch Shelly Ellison here just bowl over a couple of Bruin defenders. Second down and 2. Ellison again has the first down and then some, down to the 25. So the Crabbers are on the roll now. 9:49 remaining in the fourth. A 6-point lead. The missed extra point for the Bruins could loom to be a major factor. A timeout called by the Bruins.
Coach Kaz wants to come out and talk to his defense. They've done a good job all night, but they're letting Hampton get a little bit of momentum going here. And, of course, Crabber fans would like nothing better than to see a score. They've got a good extra point kicker. They can very well take the play, but then take the lead, but then you got this young Mr. Allen Iverson can do everything, so I don't know. What do you got for us?
Well, I just want to remind the fans that Jerome Young won't let you miss any entertainment around Hampton Roads. You can join him on the community calendar, so you can mark your calendar with upcoming concerts, exhibits, lectures, and other activities for you and your family every day following the news, and that's Bev Penn on the news at 1, 5, and 9 p.m. right here on Channel 5.
I tell you, our staff is so versatile.
Jerome Young, I talked to him on the phone today. He sounds so official on the phone. And so, he's quite a guy. Great cameraman. Our crew has done a great job under very adverse conditions, and I want to congratulate our camera people for their always spectacular job. First down and 10 for the Crabbers. Ellison gets a yard. Good defense by the Bruins on that right Hampton side, or their left side, I guess you'd call it.
Xavier Dunn, number 11, was one of the tacklers that time.
Are you going to try and work your way down to the field at the end of the game?
I'm going to try. I don't know. I might get mobbed going down.
We got to talk about our players of the game,
yes,
too.
We do.
Tough call at this point because there's so many outstanding individual plays so far. Most of those on defense. Second down and about 8. Brown, quarterback keeper, and he is stopped for a loss on the play. So that timeout by Kozlowski seems to have been a very good call as he went out there. His team was kind of on their heels. The Bruins were kind of being pushed back, and Koz called a timeout, and then 2 consecutive plays now. They've come up with a big D.
Well, if you're looking, if your defensive secondary, you got to think perhaps a pass in this situation because you are 3rd and 9. But don't miss Mr. Brown on the quarterback keeper off of the. Well, they're not going to do that.
Brown feels the pressure, throws back across the field, wide open is Joseph Manley for the INT.
That was not a real good pass, and then he's going way across the field. Had a wide open man, but he just couldn't get it deep enough. Tim, that could be almost as well as a punt. But you know, 4th down, you'd rather see that than on 3rd down.
Here's your replay on the pass. Brown had time here, but couldn't find a receiver. Again,
look at big
Johnson.
number 81 on top of him, Tim Johnson.
And just threw a very poor pass right to the hands of Manley. Joseph Manley with the INT, the 3rd of the ball game for the Bruins. So the Crabber defense now is again going to be handed the task of getting the ball back. The Bruins, of course, would like to eat up that 7:47 remaining.
Is that the 3rd interception for that Bethel?
Not for for the team. 2 by Bean, and now that one by Joseph Manley. Pickup of about 5, 2nd down, and let's call it 5. This is Michael Jackson, right side. He gets back to the line of scrimmage. It brings up a 3rd down. The Crabbers with 3 timeouts remaining. The Bruins with 2. 3rd down and 4. Allen Iverson, the quarterback, of course, you were talking about Brown a minute ago, a big man on 3rd down. Iverson is so elusive that let's see what they call. Iverson wants to pass, throws, incomplete, almost picked off.
Tim, I think it may have been tapped at the line of scrimmage. Somebody might have gotten a hand on that. But it brings up another 4th down situation for the Bruins. Again, the Crabbers, with plenty of time, should end up with decent field position.
So 3 downs and out for the Bruins on that after the interception by Manley. Watch Iverson, ball way up in the air, was one of the Hampton linemen. He very likely got a hand on the ball.
Again, probably Colin Brown, number 70.
He was about 4 feet in the air. High snap from center, no rush. The Crabbers have the return on. And Smith's line drive kick goes to Hamlet. Hamlet trying to get some blocking, got a block, but one of them was illegal and a flag flies. So the one thing that Mike Smith and the Hampton Crabbers did not want to see was a penalty on the return. That's a clip. It'll go against the Crabbers.
And that'll take them from the Bethel 44 back to their 30-something.
You know, that again, hindsight is always 20/20. If you see the replay on this, you'll see where had Hamlet just gone forward, he wouldn't have gotten much, but he would have had the ball in great field
During the
position.
run back, 1st down.
So the Crabbers would have had it at midfield if Hamlet had just made a fair catch or just taken the ball there. But in the effort to get the yardage, a clipping call.
They had the picket line set up for him, had a return to the right side, got an illegal block, 1st and 10.
So the Crabbers 69 yards away from a tying touchdown. Brown back, wants to pass, throws long. He's got Stein behind the defense. He couldn't hold on to the football. Stein was beyond Brian Bean and couldn't hold on.
Well, Bean got in the way, and I think him going up for the ball may have made Stein lose the ball. And in all fairness to him, that was a well-thrown ball by Fred Brown.
Here it is again. You'll see Brown fake the handoff and then throw long to Stein. Stein has beaten the defender, and he never really got his hand on it. Stein just didn't handle the ball. 2nd down and 10 at the 32. Brown getting the pressure, unloads, and got it to his tight end at the 30-yard line for a 3-yard loss. So now the Crabbers looking at 3rd and long.
The pressure that the Bruins are putting on the Crabber offensive backfield is just unbelievable tonight.
Snow comes in, Dunbar comes out for Hampton. 6:26 remaining in the 4th quarter. Stein is wide to the right, Hamlet to the left. Brown has some time, rolls out of the pocket. Now sees some running room, but it closes down very quickly. He just couldn't find anybody to throw to.
Nobody was open.
So the Bruin defense comes up big again. And now the Crabbers will have to kick the ball away. Here's your replay. Brown has time here initially, just can't find anybody open. Then tries to run with the ball and then just runs into his own man and gets caught from behind. Bruins slow getting their team on the field. Kick is away by Stein, fielded at the 45-yard line, out close to midfield is Marlon Anderson, and the Bruins will have great field position. 5:39 remaining in the 4th. Bethel at midfield. Bruins have 2 timeouts left. The Crabbers have 3.
couple of first downs could really put a lot of pressure on the Crabbers.
Iverson runs into his own man and goes down at the 46-yard line.
Kelly Rogers was coming back to throw a block, but he needed to go on down the field. Allen got by the potential tackler.
That served two purposes. It stopped a gain from being even bigger, and it stopped the clock. Now they restarted. 5:21 remaining. Straight handoff. Kelly Gardner's got the first down all the way down to the Hampton 33-yard line. Gardner has been a big factor in this ball game for the Bruins.
He sure has, Tim.
51 yards so far in the ball game for Kelly Gardner. There you saw the tail end of that play. Gardner gets the first down. 33-yard line. Iverson rolling, looking, throws. It is almost picked off. I had to wait for a minute to tell you.
John Stein, he saw that all the way. That's what you get from scouting and watching films. He knew what that play was going to be. Just could not hang on. Nice defensive effort by John Stein.
I should hasten to add, we've talked about the importance of this ball game. Both of these teams will go on to postseason play.
Oh, they will that.
So it's not a matter of life and death in this game. And certainly the Crabbers would like to win their 15th championship in the Peninsula District, and the Bruins, of course, would like to be the victor and win their first in a long time. The Bruins, of course, remember well a 54-0 pasting that they got last year at the hands of these Hampton Crabbers.
I'm sure Coach Kaz has brought that up a couple of times.
34-yard line is where they've marked the ball. It's third down and about 11 for the Bruins with 4:22 remaining. They lead by 6, 9-3. Iverson rolling, looking. Same play that went for the touchdown. Knocked away at the last second by Sean Hamlin. An excellent defensive effort by Hamlin.
Well, now you're Bethel. You punt the ball. You put the Crabbers deep in their own end of the field, Tim. 4 minutes to go. Can the Crabbers do it again?
Here's your replay. You'll see Hamlet come over just at the last second here and bat that ball out of the intended receiver's hands. Leslie Smith will be standing back at the 45-yard line. Again, a bad snap, but he feels it, no pressure, and then he kicks it, angles it out of bounds, but we'll have to see where they line it up exactly. It will be at about the Hampton 19-yard line. So Smith wanted to hit the corner, but he got a little carried away. And again, that wind in his defense.
I was going to say, got a little help from the wind,
yeah,
too,
the
I'm
wind
sure.
is coming across the field towards us. So they mark it at the 19-yard lines. The Crabbers 81 yards away from the tying touchdown with 4:04 remaining, and they do have their full 3 timeouts left. Hamlet wide to the left, Stein to the near side. Wayne Spencer also out there, flags flying everywhere. Somebody left early. It'll be a 5-yard penalty against the Hampton Crabbers. Bob, you're going to try and work your way down. Who were your picks for the players?
Well,
the offense.
Tim, this has been more of a defensive game than it has been offensively, and I've gone with Joseph Manley of the Bethel Bruins on defense and Myron Newsom on defense on the Crabbers. These two young men have stepped up one notch higher today for this ball game. That's who I'd pick.
Notwithstanding a last-minute spectacular comeback here, and again, flags down on the play. I'd have to say I can't argue with either one of those calls. I should also mention that you had, as I would, several other players to mention. Tim Johnson, Kelly Gardner, Michael Jackson,
Allen
Allen Iverson for the Bruins.
Fred Brown, Wayne Spencer, Stein, Tynes, and Hamlet for the Crabbers. So, you know, this is not an easy thing to do, but these two young men defensively, and this has been a more defensive game than it has been offense. So I am going to go down and try to talk with somebody. I don't know who I'll end up with.
All right. We'll invite the fans to stay tuned for that at the conclusion of the ball game. Bob will make his way down to the sideline. An official's timeout here. Again, a consecutive penalty situation for the Crabbers, backing them up to their 9-yard line. So now they have 91 yards to go. And the running play out to about the 13. Of course, the Crabbers have to be very careful. They can't afford to turn the ball over down here, but by the same token, they've got to get in the end zone. .335, the clock moving, and the Crabbers with a second down and about 18. Brown unloads for Hamlet. Contact made. A flag goes down. Another flag. Contact was made, but I'm amazed to see how this call goes. Now, in high school ball, just so you understand, it is not at the point of the foul. It is a penalty from the line of scrimmage. And in this case, the line of scrimmage is the 15-yard line. It's going to be apparently defensive pass interference because Bill Dozier is marking off the 15 yards. It'll still leave the Crabbers shy. Here's your call.
Pass interference, automatic first down.
It is an automatic first down, so even though there weren't enough yards, here's your contact. Let's just say it's hard to tell who hit who, but the official right on top of the play called pass interference on the defense. Sean Hamlin looking for someplace to go, no place to go. On the play, Xavier Gunn, another young man whose name we could mention for player of the game, was right there and did not allow Hamlin to go anywhere.
Tim, that was an excellent defensive job. Again, when you scout the two teams, as both of these teams have watched films, they can pick up some tendencies, and they were right on top of that play.
Second down and 16. Fred Brown feels the pressure rolling. Brown's got some running room, and he will go out of bounds near the first down marker. Brown got enough for the first down.
Well, this game is not over by a long shot, Tim. 2:34 going.
There you see the scoreboard. The Crabbers still have 3 timeouts remaining. They're at the 38-yard line, and of course the clock stopped when Brown went out of bounds a moment ago. Now Bill Dozier, the referee, is going over to talk to Coach Kozlowski, as he did earlier in the ball game when Mike Smith had a question. Of course, Mike Smith had to burn a timeout to get the discussion. But this time, no timeout will be charged. It is a first down for the Crabbers. They have to get a touchdown in order to tie this ball game. Brown rolling, throws, coming back to the ball was Stein. An excellent job by John Stein, seeing his quarterback was in trouble. He came back to the ball, and the pass is completed at the 44.
Tim, I don't know how Fred Brown got that ball off that time, but he was getting a lot of pressure. John Stein's an exceptional athlete, came back and got that reception.
Clock moving with 2:03 remaining. Second down and about 5. Make it 4. Brown has to get time to pass. Doesn't have much time. Runs with the football. Gets the first down at the 50-yard line. They'll mark it at the 49, but it will be enough for a Hampton first down.
As long as they can't get first downs, they're going to stop that clock.
A minute 48 remaining. Clock will stop, and now the Crabbers will take their first timeout of the second half. And we'll take a timeout. We'll return with the conclusion of tonight's ball game after a brief timeout. There you see the score. Bethel 9, Hampton 3. The Bruins scored first on the unlikely event of a field goal, their first of the season, a 27-yarder from Coffey at 9:02 of the second quarter. And then Welch, with a minute 59 remaining in the half, hit a 19-yarder to tie the game at 3 at halftime. And then the only score in the second half is a 24-yard pass from Allen Iverson to Kelly Rogers. And that's the way we stand. They missed the extra point. It's 9-3 with a minute 48 remaining.
You can hear the crowd down here, Tim.
Brown has time, looks, throws off the hands of the intended receiver. Out on the pattern was Wayne Spencer. He just couldn't hold on to the football.
Bean made a good job that time because Spencer was open, but the ball was just a little late getting to him, Tim. Gave the defensive back from Bethel a chance to get over and break it up. And it is cold down here on the field.
You know, Bean was not one of the names we mentioned as a candidate, but he could have been one of many for the Bruins, as Bean did, in fact, have 2 INTs tonight. Brown, again, wants some time, needs it, can't find an open receiver, looks for some blocks, gets 2. Now he runs back toward the center, throws for Stein. What a grab by John Stein! What a diving catch from John Stein at the 46-yard line. Not a first down for the Crabbers. And now they call timeout with 1:22 remaining.
I tell you, Jim, these receivers have to make adjustments because Brown has have to scramble. That time, John Stein just did an excellent job of leading and diving for the ball and come up with the reception. But you got third down and looks like about 6.
Brown did a superb job of eluding would-be tacklers and then to find Stein, and then Stein just made a spectacular diving catch for the grab. But again, as you said, not enough for the first down. It's third down and about 6 for the Crabbers. They have used their second timeout. They have 1 timeout remaining with 1:22 remaining in the ball game. And I should say in the fourth quarter, because of course in the high school AAA you do not have a tie. You have extra overtime until someone wins. Very cold Hampton cheerleaders. The crowd has stayed here almost intact. I look around and there are still 4 deep all the way around the field. A spectacular game and a spectacular crowd. Third down and about 6 for the Crabbers. Fred Brown, straight back. Has some time. He's got a man open. Spencer was open. He couldn't find him. Now Brown will run. Tim Johnson gets him from behind. It'll be 4th down. Looked like Wayne Spencer was open momentarily, but Brown didn't have time to find him. And now the Crabbers call their final timeout with 1:12. There you see the scoreboard.
Tim, Spencer was open, but Brown could not get the ball to him because the pressure that the defensive line from the Bruins was putting on him. And, you know, we're talking about who we're going to give the player of the game to. You can give it to the whole defensive line of both teams. They've both done an excellent job tonight. This has been a fantastic job. It's cold on the field, but when the crowd starts yelling, it's unbelievable. The adrenaline starts flowing.
Here you go. Here's your crowd noise. This is your ball game in all essence. It's 4th down and about 3 for Hampton. They have used all of their timeouts. They must get a first down. They cannot stop the clock again with the use of a timeout. Number 1 in the state against number 6 in the state. Both teams will advance to postseason play in spite of this game. Win or lose, both teams advance. But the Bruins looking to beat the Crabbers and win the Peninsula District Championship. Brown, 4th and 4. The crowd is up. Brown has time, throws. It's complete for a first down. John Stein inside the 40-yard line for the first down.
Tim, I might have to go back on my player of the game. John Stein has just done an excellent job.
It ain't over till it's over. 38-yard line, crank the clock, 1:04 remaining. The Fred Brown-led Hampton Crabbers still in it. He gets time, now gets a man open as Stein. He goes out of bounds at the 31-yard line. He has been uncanny in finding John Stein.
John Stein knows where he is, Tim. He knows you give me the ball, I'm going to go out of bounds. I'm going to stop the clock. No timeouts left. Very, very heady ball player.
Gain of 7 on the play. 2nd down and 3 for Hampton. 54 seconds remain. Again, the crowd is on its feet. Brown over the middle. John Stein can't hold on to it at the 20-yard line. Stein showing his human side in he finally can't catch one of those passes. He has made so many spectacular grabs here in the 4th quarter. Had one slip through his fingers earlier when he got behind Brian Bean that could have been the difference in this ball game, but could have, should have, and would have are the three greatest phrases in the world. 3rd down and 4 for the Crabbers. 47 seconds remain. No timeouts. Brown wants to pass, throws way over the head of Stein. 4th down.
John Stein slipped and fell down on his first cut. And by the time he got up, he was pretty well covered. Fred just overthrew him that time. This is 4th down. This is crunch time.
There you see it, 40 seconds remaining.
Tim, I'm going to go with John Stein for the player of the game for Hampton. You have any problems with that?
No, I sure don't. 4th down and 4. Brown has all kinds of time, but he has no one to throw to. Spencer is open. Brown gets away from one tackle, gets back to the inside, and is finally down at the 15-yard line, but the Crabbers have no timeouts, but fortunately for them, they will have to stop the clock to advance the chains. They restart the clock, 25 seconds and moving. Brown looks for Stein over the middle, wants to throw in the corner, nobody's open. Brown finally throws to Stein. It goes complete at the 10-yard line. 11 seconds remaining. The clock is moving. They cannot stop it with a timeout. The Crabbers are out of timeouts. 2 seconds, 1. This will be the last play. That's it. The game is over. What a spectacular finish to a great ball game. Stay tuned as Bob will try and catch up with some of the participants of this ball game and certainly the coaches if possible. But the Hampton Crabbers, ranked number 1 in the state, have been beaten 9-3 by the Bethel Bruins, who previously had been ranked number 6. What a tremendous football game by both teams. Crabbers kept driving, kept trying, never gave up. Whenever it looked like they were down and out, they'd come up with a big first down. Fred Brown would continue to pass the ball or run the ball, as case may be. And finally, the time just ran out on the Crabbers. The Bethel Bruins defense.
Tim, I'm going to get up with Coach Cos, but he wants to talk to his team first.
See if you can find someone in the interim, Bob, if you can. Stein was down on the sidelines. He's walking, well, he's quite a ways from you, so I'm not sure you can catch up with him. There's Sean Hamlet near to your left. Maybe Sean has some insight for you. Hamlet played a very fine ball game for the Crabbers. The Crabbers have to be disappointed, but they can't lose sight of the fact that there is a tomorrow.
Tim, I got Sean here. Sean, this was a tremendous defensive game tonight.
Both teams played very well, you know. It was a good game, so, I mean, I'm not going to hold my head down because we got better things to look forward to now.
Well, you guys don't have anything to be ashamed. Both teams played well tonight. The win had a lot of effect on the passing game, I'm sure.
Yes, it did. It was just a good game. So.
It really was. Well, listen, we're going to get up with you guys next week because you can still go all the way. And congratulations on a fine season.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean, Tom. All right, Tim, let's go back up to you.
I think Sean Hamlet said it very well, and he made a very strong point in his statement, is that this is not the end of their season. This is nothing that they have to hang their heads about because they have bigger and better things to do. And as quoted in the newspaper, tomorrow this game will be forgotten in all sense of the word because they will have to move on to next week's opponent. And both of these teams will advance to postseason play with an opportunity to win the state championship in their respective divisions. Bethel will be in Division 5 and Hampton in Division 6. They will not play each other again, but they both could end up state champions in their respective divisions. Fred Brown is walking by you there. Bob, you want to try and catch up with Fred for a minute?
Tim, I'm right here. What a tremendous game. Defensively, it was a tough game on both sides.
Yeah, that's how
Sunday one.
It go like that sometimes.
Be there.
Try to fight hard and get back in the game. The fact that the time ran out on us, you know.
Well, you guys were moving the ball down the field, but you can't be disappointed because you've had a good season. You're going into playoffs.
Yeah, well, I'm focusing on now to keep my team head up, you know, try to win the regional title, and then go on trying to win the state.
Well, very good. Well, listen, congratulations on a fine season so far. All right, Tim, let's go back up to you.
And obviously disappointed Fred Brown. He had a tremendous effort to bring his team from behind, and certainly all the credit in the world has to be given to Fred Brown and his teammates for a fine effort. The Bruin defense was just a little bit better when it had to be. They came up with the big plays as they have all year long. The Bruins just were not going to give it up, as they say, and the only points scored was
Tim, excuse me, I got Coach Incrementus here. Coach, defensively, what a job tonight.
I tell you, the fellas really came through when they had to. When Hampton marched down to the goal line, we had that goal line stance. I tell you, that was really a tribute to our defense. Hampton has a great football team, and I'm sure that they're going to go on and win the state in Division 6. And we're just going to go back and prepare for Division 5 tomorrow, Monday.
There you go. Listen, congratulations.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Tim, let's go back up to you.
All right. Crowd filing out, the Hampton side stunned, and the Bethel crowd obviously very jubilant, but a very exciting ball game. The 9-3 score is very indicative of the type of ball game it was. It was a seesaw affair. The defense was there when it had to be for both teams. The difference, a 24-yard pass from Allen Iverson to Kelly Rogers, a tandem that has been very successful for the Bruins and certainly will be more successful down the road.
Hey, Tim, I got Coach Cos. Coach, I watched at the beginning of the game. You're leaning against the goalpost. You still haven't put a coat on. What a fantastic game you guys did tonight.
Well, you know, I'm really proud of my players. They rose above some obstacles that they had to overcome tonight. 3 starters out, and I'm really proud for them because, you know, they've worked so hard and they never gave up the faith, and they just played hard and hustled all night long. And, you know, we got a few breaks, but it was 2 good teams going at each other. Coach Smith and Crabber's a fine football team. Tonight, we played a little bit better than they did.
Well, I tell you, that stand down here at the goal line was unbelievable. Tim Johnson made a great play from the other side of the ball to tackle the guy in the backfield.
Well, you know, we put the new goal line defense in because, you know, we've been running the same defense for quite a while, and we just decided we're going to change this week.
Well, you did good. Congratulations on a fine 10-0 season, Coach.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you next week in the regionals.
Okay.
All right, Tim, let's go back up to you.
My sentiments also to Coach Kozlowski, a fine gentleman and a great coach. Our congratulations to the Bethel Bruins as they win the Peninsula District with a perfect 10-0 record. The Crabbers will finish second, first time in 14 years for them. And there you see some Crabbers and some Bruins exchanging congratulations. And an excellent effort all the way, both sides of the ball tonight. And as you said, you can't lose sight of the fact that this is not the end of the season for either of these teams. In fact, it's only really the beginning of the second part of the season, as both teams will play in the playoffs next week. And depending on where those games are being played, we understand the Bruins will probably host here at Darling Stadium, and we hope to bring you that ball game. And if Hampton also hosts, we will try and do that if it's on another night. Obviously, we can't be in 2 places at one time.
How you doing?
That's about going to do it. Bethel finished first for the first time in 14 years. Hampton's either had or shared it for the last 14. Well, that's going to do it for us. The final score again, the Hampton Crabbers, #1 in the state, no longer after tonight's ball game, as the Bethel Bruins win 9-3 in a superb battle here at Darling Stadium. For Bob Hintz, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.
Schaffner, your Channel 5 halftime announcer. Taking command of the field is the Hampton High School Marching Crabber Band under the direction of Mr. Rick Allison and drum majors Willie Owens and Chris Greedabust. Their performance this evening will include the following selections: Festivo, Sao Paulo, Now That We Found Love, To Be Real, and Let the Beat Hit 'Em. Now, sit back and experience this evening's exciting performance. Enjoy. Channel 5 invites you to watch next week when we will showcase another talented Hampton City Schools band. I am Karen Schaffner. Good night.